Well, hello there and welcome to the living room with the dollhouse for another reading and comprehensive commentary on The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers for December 7th, the day of Idiosyncrasy. And here at the top of the page is a visual representation of the day of Idiosyncrasy. Well, we have us an image of, what could it be? Boom, we'll pull some focus here. Bow, it's a piece of living coral, I would imagine, being flanked by what look to be some fire pokers, if I were to guess. I don't know, is that an adequate representation for the day of Idiosyncrasy? Who's to say? I don't know, it certainly lives up to the title to some extent, but maybe we can make some connotations as we get on with the read why they chose as much. It's a hard-ass big sell, but maybe we can. No, but that's not altogether all too important. But what is important around here is that it's December 7th, and hence it's somebody's birthday. And so what's important is me wishing you happy birthday. That's right. I wanted to say happy birthday to you. But in case this video finds you late, I don't know, days, weeks, months, whatever the case may be, busy individual as I assume you are, well, I just want to say I hope you had a happy birthday if that's the case. But for everybody else joining us randomly, hey, I just want to say thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Now, before I dive in with the read direct, something I like to do around these here parts, and that's roll some dice. This is the DykASSt birthday broadcast, so got to live up to the namesake, but I also do so for synchronicity's sake. And here I rolled us a 2 and a 3 for a 5. Now, why do I roll dice for synchronicity? Well, I like the idea of getting out there in the world and letting the universe show us it's with us on our path. But we need a kind of a sign or a waypost, if you like, for it to do as much, or at least help us identify as much. And so hence the number. Now, you just get out there with your dice. It's a good idea you take your own, even if you don't go with my numbers. But you can ascribe directional values to the number sets and time limits with which to go in those directions. And then you just stay eagle-eyed for your signs. That's right. And sometimes the day starts to take on a theme. You might call it coincidence. They'll start throwing coincidences at you. You got to get those blinders off. Too often we're going through this life just singular of focus, and we're not open to what's going on around us. And so this is an exercise to help us get rid of those things there, see what we can see. So maybe you're heading down the street and you just so happen to get to the end of your time limit there. You stop, compose yourself, and you look around. Hey, what's this you see? Boom, you might just happen to be on 32nd Street. Hey, you weren't even trying for that, were you? You know what? That's a sign there. Coincidence you say, but you know what? Hey, let's line up some coincidences. Those are fun. Roll your dice again. Get your number sets going, your time values, your direction, and get going whatever those happen to be, all right? Maybe again, oh shoot, you find yourself in front of a building with a 32, or maybe it's a 23 or a 5 in the address. You know what? Stop on inside, see what you see. Hey, you know what? It's an apartment building. I don't want to do that. You know what? Go with it, all right? Maybe you go up. Hey, naturally it's locked, and there's no way I'm getting into an apartment building. But what's this? You turn around, somebody's got their groceries. Can I help you, sir? And you're like, or ma'am, whoever the case may be. Well, I'm just, this is going to sound weird. Be transparent. Tell them what you're up to. I'm just my birthday, and I'm doing a synchronicity walk here. I'm looking for coincidences. And they're like, what are you talking about? This is my building. You're like, I know, but look at my dice. It's my dice numbers there. It's in the address. What are you talking about? Hey, show them this video. They're going to think you're crazy until they see the video. Then they're going to think I'm crazy, all right? But you know what? Everybody wants a little bit of magic in their life. So maybe you help them with the groceries. You go inside, and what's this you find? Hey, they've got living coral in their fireplace with the fire pokers that I can't identify on either side of it. You know what? Maybe, just maybe. Highly improbable, but maybe. And you know what? It's the sign I was talking about. You're going to be surprised when you get out there what might start lining up for you. And you know what? After they make you some tea, you help put the groceries away, or you just made you a new friend, and maybe they join you on your synchronicity walk there, and you finish out the day with a new friend. Maybe that's what it was all about, making a new friend and seeing that cool fireplace with a living coral. I don't know, who's to say. In any event, I think you get the idea. So get out there, see, taste, touch, feel, maybe even smell a little bit of the magic. Hopefully it's a good smell, and you're going to see why I even brought it up, all right? So I hope the best for you on your birthday. Get out there. And at least, the least worst case scenario, you're going to get you some steps in. So that's perfect. In any event, let's get on with it, right, buddy? Your month is December. Your day is the 7th. Your sign is 11 to 16 degrees, Sagittarius, the Sagittarius II period specifically, and your quality and element is mutable fire. All right, December 7th, the day of idiosyncrasy. Those born on December 7th are one of a kind, and during most of their lives they find it difficult to fit in with those around them, whether it's school, work, or at home. And those born on this day often grow up thinking of themselves as abnormal, peculiar, or just plain weird. Or whether they really are or not. They believe they are, all right, and often live up to their own expectations. December 7th people are usually drawn to those who are also a tad peculiar. All right. In any case, they have respect for people who have the courage to go their own way. No matter what it is, they do. Secretly, of course, many born on this day would like to be accepted on conventional terms and enjoy just blending into the crowd from time to time. And they may succeed in forcing themselves to fit in, but the struggle usually takes its toll on their nervous system. And in their adolescence and early adulthood, December 7th people are often undecided as to what profession or line of work they wish to pursue. Not uncommonly, they try a number of different occupations, very different in nature, before they finally hit on one that suits them the best. And usually they stick to this one for life, but are not necessarily happy at it. And part of this reason that it is so difficult for them to adapt a satisfactory social role is that they are ambivalent about society itself. Also, what they like to do best, what really comes naturally to them, is not always what they can make money at. Consequently, they can suffer many anxieties and frustrations, and perhaps wind up believing they have failed. And December 7th people really need to take a lot of time off and not put too many demands on themselves. And as children, their prodigious talents may raise high expectations that are difficult to meet. And thus they may become rebellious, neurotic, and isolated, forced to form a shell around themselves to guard their sensitive natures from disappointment or rejection. And those born on this day who are fortunate enough to have both caring and sensitive parents stand a much better chance of finding themselves in this life. And if they are still more fortunate in meeting individuals who see their potential and bring their talents along, their uniqueness becomes a great asset. And they don't have to make an unnatural effort to stand out or be recognized. And December 7th people must be careful, however, of not becoming too peculiar or insulated against the world, particularly as they grow older. Dreamers and fantasizers, they run the risk of winding up living in a strange mental state that has little to do with daily lives of most people. And they should at the very least keep busy with certain minimal social and family activities, maintain close contact with their friends, write letters, and in general continue to communicate no matter how difficult it may be. And in personal relationships, making an effort to bring attention to themselves may not be a bad idea at times. And indeed, they should keep in mind that it is the squeaky wheel that gets the oil, and that self-pity in all of its insidious forms is poison. All right, how about that for birthday breakdown? Pretty well-rounded, if you ask me. Some of these days just focused on one point and drive it home. They did that a little bit, but then they examined the childhood and adulthood and your career. They made it nice and well-rounded. They don't always do that. But hey, let's dive into a little bit of the commentary I spoke of at the beginning here. All right, December 7th, the day of idiosyncrasy. You are one of a kind, they said. All right, so much so you may find it difficult to fit in, and whether it's true or not, it may be something you believe, okay? But instead of letting that potentially defeat you, embrace it. That's right. That's what I say. Embrace it, all right? And gravitate towards others who are also peculiar and have the courage to embrace it themselves, okay? That said, secretly the reading claims that you do want to be accepted in conventional or normal terms. To the extent you may succeed, but you may take great pains to do so. All right? But really, you'd be living a lie, wouldn't you? All right? A lot of life is about that. People coming to terms with those sorts of things. That is, unless you're one of those folks they mentioned who thinks they're peculiar but really isn't, right? Which would just be all kinds of confusing if you were taking great pains to secretly be what you already are. That'd be kind of interesting, right? Which is either quite the complex onion to peel, or it takes us right back to where we were at the beginning. I don't know. So maybe just chop it up. That's right. That's what I say. Just chop it up, all right? Try not to overthink things. That's right. All right? Sounds like you might be overthinking things a little bit. Yeah, we all do it, okay? And I'd say that extends to your career aspirations too, which as the reading relates, you may make just as complicated, all right? Specifically putting in the effort to find a job you like, but then not liking it, sounded like. So it sounds more like the day of cognitive dissonance, if you were to ask me, all right? At least in all the terms they were talking about there. But I would say the key concern and takeaway is such things leading to believe that you failed, okay? You don't want that in your life. Feeling which, true or not, takes its own kind of toll, all right? We want to feel like we're a success in this life. But hey, you know what? Failure's not the worst thing either. It builds us back up, shows us like, hey, we got to take another chance, or that didn't work, so I need to build things back. Yeah, take it as an example too. Maybe even motivation to do better in the next activity. That's right. That said, if you are as prodigious as they claims, or extraordinary in other terms, in your talents as children, which is said to come with a high expectation. Some probably self-imposed, I'm guessing, as things often are, right? It makes sense that dynamic would carry forward in some form. So maybe a lot of the things that they're talking about here kind of hinge from that. So like, again, go easy on yourself there. Chop it up. Stop overthinking things. The reading suggests a partner who can bolster or accept said talents to combat this. But obviously, that's not always a reality. Can't always find those people, right? Or the people we do find, hey, we kind of take them as they come, right? They may not be someone who helps with our talents. That said, I advocate personal acceptance. That's right. Both in failure and in who you are. I think that's the key to things, by and large. The partner thing, that's just going to bolster it if you find the right one. But also knowing that you aren't alone is a huge factor there. And I say that because September 10th, folks, I had to dig back into the book to find this one because it stood out, but I didn't remember the day. They're the completely opposite dynamic, all right? They're really rather milquetoast individuals, but they strive to be peculiar and unique, and they gravitate towards people who are like that, even though they aren't themselves. So they're living a lie in a way, out in a complete different way. So I thought that was interesting. So just know you aren't alone, okay? Even though theirs is a completely different thing. It's twisted 180 from yours. It's the mirror, if you like. September 10th, folks. Maybe that's who you need to look for. Who's to say? In any event, that's been your birthday breakdown. So let's move on to your numbers and your planets. All right, those born on the 7th day of the month are ruled by the number 7 and by the planet Neptune. Neptune is the watery planet of ruling visions, dreams, and psychic phenomena, and December 7th people may be prone to these unstable influences. The combination of Neptune with Jupiter, as Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, it grants idealism and expansiveness to those born on this day, but also presents dangers of naivete and malleability. And those ruled by the number 7 typically enjoy change as well as travel. All right, pretty highly personalized numbers and planets today. Rather sparse, but they did personalize it quite a bit. Sometimes they don't do that. So hey, you know what? There you go. You can take that away with you. That's what I have to say here. Your number 7 in the dreamy, watery planet Neptune. For the planet of dreams, visions, and what was the other one? Psychic phenomena. That's right. To which the reading claims you may make you susceptible to unstable influences, whatever those are realized as, right? So be wary of the instability, I would say, on a more generalized scope of the term, even though for those seeking the peculiar, it might be right up your alley. Hey, you know what? It might not do you any good. Just be wary of it. That said, Jupiter grants optimism, luck, and expansiveness, or as other sources purport, an energy to expand one's quest for understanding. All right, so the philosophical, if you like, and also abundance in all facets of life. And it is also said to help bolster the power of the other planet that's in the main rulership there. But when coupled with Neptune, all right, illusions and escapism may work against you in the realm of naivete and malleability, as they said. So beware those who may be trying to take advantage of you, all right? Just have it in the back of your mind, I would say. Because maybe you know I'm prone to that kind of instability, right? And you don't want to foster that kind of thing. At least I assume. That being said, that's what I have to say about your numbers and planets. Expand on it a little bit for you. There's Jupiter, the expansive planet. So hopefully I add a little bit to it. So there we go. There's your numbers and planets. Let's move on to your tarot. That's right. One of the more eclectic of the New Age metaphysical ideologies. What's here in the book? Not necessarily new in those terms, but hey, we don't have to take it home with us and start dealing out the cards if you're someone who doesn't believe in that kind of thing. It's just like the dice there. You can leave it or skip ahead, whatever. But hey, it's here in the book. It's your birthday. You're expansive. Let's expand those horizons. Take the blinders off. See what kind of connotations we can make. All right, get on with it, buddy, right? The seventh card of the major arcana is the Chariot, all right, which shows a triumphant figure moving through the world and manifesting his physical presence in a dynamic way. The card may be interpreted to mean that no matter how narrow or precarious the correct path, one must continue on. And the good side of this card posits success, talents, and efficiency, and the bad side suggests a dictatorial attitude and a poor sense of direction. All right. This one was a copy-paste job. No real, no personalization for you. But hey, you know what? Let's see if I can add to it a little bit here. The Chariot for manifesting presence in a dynamic way and following your path no matter how difficult the journey. All right. And I could definitely see this one relating to the struggles that you may encounter trying to work out your ideal place in this world. That's right. You got to remember your path, okay? You might try to force it too. You might try to carve your own way. Yeah, it might work a little bit, but you know what? Gotta take it in stride. Go easy on yourself. You can walk on the well-trodden path a little bit, right? What else do I have to say? I'm getting off my path here, getting away from the copy. Let's see, the struggles you entertain in the world and the temptations to stray away, okay? The so-called poor sense of direction, if you like, going off on your own path there. And being as you're considered dreamers, maybe you're Neptune influenced in that regard, positives of talent and efficiency would be all too welcome facets, I would say, at least to help you in realizing such traits. And I don't see the dictatorial attitude so much. Some of this was a bit of a reach to associate to the breakdown, but all told, I think it was a rather apt card for you in a lot of cases. But hey, maybe the dictatorial attitude, maybe the folks that get broken down by life, they start to get jaded and cynical. I've seen that here in this period. Don't let that happen, all right? I can see the dictatorial attitude coming out of that. Like, you're not allowed to dream, and so therefore, I start taking it out on others. You know what? Don't keep using your dream, let's say, but don't get swayed by your illusions. That's right. Be measured about it. That's right. Hey, we did add something to the tarot there. A little bit of things to think about. All right. So that's been your tarot. Let's move on to your health. All right. Your health. The December 7th nervous system is extremely sensitive. So stresses should be kept to a minimum in order to avoid anxieties taking hold. And all escape-oriented and addictive drugs should be absolutely shunned. Making frequent trips to bucolic areas of restful natural beauty can do a world of good. There, fresh air may inspire December 7th people to exercise, whereas in the city, they may not find the time. Being around small children, not necessarily their own, it says in parentheticals, can also be a great joy and highly beneficial to their health. And as far as diet is concerned, December 7th people should seek a wide range of tastes as well as textures, with an emphasis on enjoyment. A few dietary restrictions need be observed, except in the cases of allergies, all right? And allergic conditions, whether to dust, cat hair, soaps, or foods, it says in parentheticals, may have a strong psychological component. Under no circumstances should December 7th people allow themselves secret worries about real or imagined diseases. Oh, very interesting. All right. What I have to say about your health here. Not your typical straightforward health entry. Not by any stretch of the imagination. A little bit, but let me see what I had to say here. An extremely sensitive nervous system, apparently. How that's determined, I'm no telling. How the planets dictate that, I don't know. I have no idea. But mind your stressors, I think, is a huge takeaway from that, regardless all the other stuff, all right? Good practice regardless. That said, avoid escapist drugs, all right? Your hallucinogens and as such. Considering your Neptune traits and their empowerment by Jupiter. That's right. Jupiter bolsters those powers of the respective planet that rules you, all right? And if you're taken with dreams and illusions, you might get doubly taken with your hallucinogens and such. What else I got here? Trips to bucolic or rustic countryside type atmospheres. I had to look that one up for you, bucolic. Said to help, and it inspires exercise for you. All of this, new suggestions, just for you, so they personalized it. So maybe take note about that. Small children are said to inspire joy. That's also a new entry for the health, as far as I can recall. And if it has been mentioned before, only 1 or 2 times, so... that's also a Sagittarius thing. They like, they say small children and animals are something they really care about. So wide-ranging diet, they said. No real focus on foods themselves, but tastes and textures, interestingly enough. But concern for allergies and their psychological effects is something to be concerned about there. So hypochondria, I'm thinking. Your illusions, again, getting a hold of you. What else we got here? So again, pretty personalized inclusion, highly surprising health entry for sure. But they didn't really drill down on exercise or diet, and a lot of times they really drive that home. But sometimes to make a point about the psychological, they kind of ditch those. They probably don't think it's quite as important. So maybe take note about the illusionary things there. All right. That being said, that's been your health. So let's dive in with some advice. All right. I think we've given quite a bit of that, but let's see what they got to say here. Bring yourself regularity into social contact with others. Or bring yourself regularly into social contact with others, rather. Don't expect too much from yourself and learn to take it easy without feeling caged. Okay. Rather sparse advice, but you know what? I think there's quite a bit of value in there. What I had to say. Oh, it's all in the book. I ran out of space on the page. Here we go. Bear with me here. Be social is what they said, all right? So yeah, expand your horizons in that regard. Jupiter encourages as much, all right? And you probably flourish with it, I'll be told there. Even if you don't want to admit it or think you have anything to offer. Again, your insecurities might be getting the best of you, but they said you're kind of drawn to those other folks who share similar peculiarities or who are peculiar themselves, even though you may not be as peculiar as you think. That's right. So you know it's in there. You know you've got the desire to gravitate towards it. Like I said, don't go too far off the path, but don't abandon your dreams either, or your instincts. Bring some attention to yourself, perhaps, is what they said in the breakdown. Just don't go full self-pity. That's right. It's poison, as they also said. I agree. Don't expect too much from yourself either, okay? Go easy. It might be the taproot of some of your insecurities if you've got them. Just going too hard on yourself. Expecting too much about yourself there. So again, they said take it easy without feeling caged, all right? And don't So I said, don't lean too much on the credence of your illusions. I'm assuming that's what they're trying to say here. You may not be caged, even though it feels like it. All right, that's right here. Without feeling caged. Yeah, you get it, I'm sure. That being said, that's your advice, rather, and what I had to say about it. So let's move on to your meditation. All right, let's take the energy down just a hair here. Let's see here. You meet, let's start again. You will meet yourself wherever you go. All right, quick and to the point. A lot of value, I would argue, though. Once again, you will meet yourself wherever you go. All right, that's your meditation. That's just for you. It's your birthday. I'm not going to interpret it for you or throw a spin on it and mess it up for you there. Once again, you will meet yourself wherever you go. All right, your meditation in the can, as it were. Let's move on to your strengths and your weaknesses. That's right. Let's see where you've got the strength and where you're not sufficiently strong. That's why I never have a good way to say this one. But your strengths, let's get it here. You're imaginative, you're sensitive, and you're highly individual. Oh, I think that's a first, highly individual. Yeah, the other ones I'm sure have come in there, but they're huge too. Imaginative, sensitive, and highly individual. But your weaknesses, oh, let's turn the objective mirror around, see what we see about ourselves. You know, the side of the mirror that blows up your face and shows off all the pock marks. That's right, those things you're sensitive about. All right, let's see what we got here. Your weaknesses, you're peculiar, you're nervous, and you're withdrawn. Oh, peculiar, nervous, and withdrawn. I don't know. That's not news, is it? We already drilled down on those things. But you know what's interesting? That's what makes you highly individual. That's right. All right. A little bit of weaknesses coming to turn out to be some strengths. Hey, like we said before, just don't stray too far from the path, and you can embrace those things. All right. Make you who you are. And also, if it's something you really need to overcome, being imaginative, sensitive, and highly individual are going to help you surmount those things, all right? But just remember, they're a part of who you are, so embrace them, all right? Treasure them to some extent, and maybe sometimes, too, you can use those weaknesses as strengths. You just got to know the situation, how to identify it and apply as much. That being said, your strengths and weaknesses having been related, let's move on to those born on this day. And when we get into those born on this day, not only get to see who shares your company, but something I like to do is examine the idea of figuring out our passions. And too often in life, I get out there in the world and meet folks and I ask them what they do, but then I kind of throw in the other part of that question, if they like it. A lot of times they don't. You know what? Highly understandable. People got to get into a job, make money, right out of school, whatever may have you. And, hey, they just get caught in the trap, climbing that corporate ladder, right? Making that money. It's easy at this point. I've been doing it for years. But at the root of it, they don't enjoy it. It was never something they enjoyed. Maybe they tolerate it, but it's just something too they focused on with you. And so I was just itching to say something about it, but I knew we were coming to this point. So I think this is the perfect opportunity to not only examine the idea of figuring out your passions, because it's important that we get out of bed in the morning, just kind of like figuratively or literally doing backflips to get into our day and do our work. And I think if we're not doing that, hey, there's a certain amount of fulfillment we're not getting out of life. Because you know what? If you've got that in your life, you're going to feel higher tier. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is the perfect opportunity, if we don't have that in our lives, to maybe take some inspiration from those who got in the book. Maybe what they did. Don't know if it was their passions or not, but hey, maybe it was. And I know it's a tall order. Big ask to take inspiration from somebody else's accomplishments, but maybe me just putting the bug in your ear about it is going to do so. Help you stir up the fires, all right? So let's get to it. Born on this day, we have Willa Cather, the Pulitzer Prize-winning essayist novelist of My Antonia. We also have Noam Chomsky, the linguistics theorist, political activist, writer of Language and the Mind. There's somebody some people probably thought were weird. You want to study and innovate language? Hey, you know what? Big guy. He did a lot of good things there. We also have Larry Bird. Oh, Larry the Legend, it says. Boston Celtics basketball forward. 9-time All-NBA team. 3-time MVP. U.S. Olympic Dream Team gold medalist. All right. We also have Eli Wallach, stage and film actor. We have Tom Waits, the singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and a film actor. We also have Giovanni Lorenzo Bernini, an Italian Baroque architect and a sculptor. Mario Alberto Nobre Lopez Soares, oh boy, Portuguese socialist president. That's a mouthful. Johnny Bench, Cincinnati Reds baseball catcher and 2-time MVP, 3-time RBI, and 2-time home run leader. We also have Moshe Arns, an Israeli foreign minister, Harry Chapin, the singer-songwriter. We also have Richard W. Sears, the mail-order merchant of Sears and Roebuck fame. We also have Joyce Carey, the British novelist of The Horse's Mouth. We also have Pietro Mascagni, an Italian opera composer. Ellen Burstyn, TV film actress. Kathleen Kuhlman, an operatic mezzo-soprano. Rudolf Frimmel, Czech-American operetta composer, it says. Hamilton Fish, U.S. Congressman of New York. We also have Mike Gorman, a mental illness reformer. Charles K. Duncan, U.S. Navy Admiral. And A.J. Antoon, a theater director. All right, hey, quite a few names in there I didn't recognize. I may have even butchered a few, so let's make up for that on my side. Not done in malice, it's just hooked on phonics, doesn't work for me on occasion. But that being said, hey, you know what? We started to notice a few of those there. I was like, man, this lines up nicely with the day here. But then the others, I just never heard of. Couldn't really make too many connotations with. But hey, all together, I thought you got a good mix. They ran the gamut of professions. And you know what? You check into any of them, maybe you'll drum up some inspiration there. But once again, hey, maybe me just putting the bug in your ear about it is going to get you to stir up the fires to figure out your own passions. If and that's lacking there. Like I said, some of you might already have that figured out. And if you do, more power to you. All I have to say is keep chugging along. And maybe it was just interesting for you to find out who shares your birthday. Maybe you didn't know old Larry the Legend Bird shares your company. How about that? That's right. Any event, that's been those born on there this day, which essentially rounds out your birthday read. I didn't see any kind of connotation with the coral and the fireplace pokers, but hey, a lot of times that ain't a good... I mean, I was able to put it together in the example at the top, so hey, that's good enough for me. But any event, that essentially, like I said, rounds out your birthday read. Except to say, your season is fall, and once again, your zodiac sign is Sagittarius. And let me say, from what I've read, you are the least populated zodiac sign. There are only a few of you there compared to everybody else. So hey, very select group indeed. That being said, the Sagittarius II period is your period of the 48 periods of the zodiac, and your quality and elements is immutable fire. And what does that mean? Well, that's a different video entirely. I'll leave it at the end for you to click on if you're interested. But this has been December 7th, the day of Idiosyncrasy. From The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Used Elfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in diving in further, getting to the point a little quicker than I can. And you know what? Save the hassle of having to type it in a browser there, and you support the channel in the bargain, which I appreciate. But that being said, makes a great coffee table book. You're bound to strike up some conversations if you're having company over. It's said to get social, so this is the perfect opportunity to do it. But you know what? That's not what's important here. What's important, like I said at the top, is wishing you a happy birthday. So once again, happy birthday, all right? Get out there, figure out your passions, stir up them fires, get social. Don't lean into your illusions too heavy, you know, all the stuff, all right? If and it even applied, all right? And if it didn't, hey, hopefully you just got a little bit of entertainment out of it as much. That being said, for everybody else who joined us to celebrate the December 7th birthday, I just want to say thanks for joining us and hope to see you on your birthday. But lest I forget, Your daily numbers, that's right. Your 2 and your 3, 4 or 5. Hey, I think I didn't bump them. I think that's what they were. Get out there, let the universe show you it's with you on your path. See, taste, touch, feel, maybe even smell a little bit of the magic. And if you do, you're going to see why I suggested it and took so long to explain it at the top. That's right. And if anything I can hope for you on your birthday, outside of drumming up some passions, is you getting out there and let the universe show you it's with you on your side. All right? So enjoy yourself on your birthday. And take care of yourself. And once again, happy birthday. Oh, that's right. Take care.